So it was really great watching the show live. I've seen it on TV since you joined the show, but to see it live was, it just helped me to really get the feel of what you experience every day. So how's it going so far for you?
It's going really well. I enjoy the women and I enjoy the staff, and they're very, very supportive here. And I really enjoy the audience every day too. So it's going well.
And so when you were first approached about becoming the newest host on the show, did the drama from the previous seasons and the previous cast kind of make you hesitate a little bit about joining?
Yes, and that's not. I don't want to sound disrespectful to the previous cast at all. It's just that when you get to a certain age, you want to go to work and enjoy yourself. And I just didn't. I'd rather have a constructive argument instead of the opposite. And so when they told me that Bill Wolf, who was previously from the Rachel Maddow show, and I had met him there, he was going to be the executive producer, and that Whoopi was going to be, Whoopi on the show, I said, let's have a conversation. Now I'm interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're very happy and proud of you to be on the show and be the Latina host. Do you feel like that tag holds you back in any way, or does it just make you feel even more proud?
The idea of the mere thought of has never entered my mind of it holding me back at all. No, I don't see myself as the first Latina to be on The View. I see myself as I'm on The View and I am a Latina. Because it didn't even dawn on me that I would be the first. So I don't carry pressure into, onto the stage. When I walk out, there is no pressure. I think that maybe possibly if I was younger, I might have felt that. But now at my age, I'm much more secure as to who I am as a person and what I can contribute. So what I'm putting forth is me. And what comes with that is my culture.
So you describe yourself and the other women on the show as alpha females, and you absolutely are a great example of that. Where does your strength and dominance, the power behind you, come from?
Well, I think it's because, in part, that I was raised around a lot of women, and so there wasn't any sexism that came into play. That only came when I went out to school. The socialization of boys and girls really hits home when you go to public school. For instance, you raise your hand as a young woman, and I should say as a child, and if a boy's sitting next to you and he raises his hand, he'll be picked before you. And so when I got to school, I was like, hey, what the heck is going on? I count. I'm here. I'm present. And I think that it's also just a part of who I am innately. And also seeing my aunt get up and go to work every single day and carry a family all by herself, that is in me as well. So I think that if I am alpha female, it's because I know I am capable, because I had a great example.
And you talk a lot about just your growth throughout the years, throughout your childhood, the troubles that you had with child abuse in your book. And I thought the book was excellent, by the way. Congratulations on that. It really took me on a wonderful journey of really seeing who you are. And it was funny, too. I laughed throughout the whole thing in certain parts, the way you spoke. And I think one of the most things that stuck out to me was how early your memories started. You went back to 3 years old in certain parts in the book. How hard was it for you to revisit those moments?
Well, it was difficult and it was joyous. So it was both. And people don't give children a lot of credit, but we're starting to see that children are very aware when, with YouTube and, parents putting their children on YouTube and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that 3-year-old is so smart. They are smart. They do see everything. They do take in everything. And, whether you have a wonderful childhood or the antithesis of that of a terrible childhood, those memories are very, very vibrant. and they stick with you, and they stuck with me, unfortunately. There were certain things that I had to go back and ask some of the girls that were in the home with me, or let's say my cousin Millie, and say, did this happen this way? No, it happened that way. You know, so some memories were just a flash, as I write in the book, and other memories were very, very concrete and clear. And so, you know, but going back, there were days when I would sit there at the computer and just break down in tears, you know, but it was a good thing because I was no longer that little girl. I was a grown-up woman going back and seeing what had happened. And as I state in the book, if I didn't do my homework in regards to therapy and working it out, I don't think I could have ever written the book. You know, because I always thought I will take my story to the grave. And because of therapy and because of maturity and the hard work, you know, it's like, why would I keep this inside? Because I succeeded. The book is a success story based on the anatomy of child abuse.
Yes.
You know, and I've come out the other side. And so I share that with the students that I work with in my charity, Urban Arts Partnerships. And why not share it with everyone else? You know, and when when I did put the story out there, I got a response that I didn't expect. I didn't realize. No, everybody wasn't abandoned at a week old. Not everybody was raised by, you know, nuns. Some of them really sadistic and insane. You know, not everyone had a severely mentally ill mother, you know, but, you know, everyone had something. And they all related to the book. It was incredible. It really was incredible. And if they did not have any type of abuse as a child, I was really surprised how much they empathized with the book as well. You know, oh my goodness, I had no idea, and I had a friend who was like that, or I couldn't believe that happening to my child, and everything, and so it was good.
One of the biggest lessons that I took from the book that I think is really important for a lot of people that live in inner cities and have that mentality that they can't see beyond the block, you know, I grew up in that way too, and you made it past that. How do you make it past it? What drove you to just see beyond it?
Well, funny to say, I believe that it was a blessing in disguise that I was placed in the convent early on, because I was able to see a different side of life. I was able to see suburbia. I was able to see pure Americana. And it was very, very different from my other life, because I was living in two different worlds at the same time in Brooklyn. And although I love Brooklyn and still love Brooklyn, you know, I still live there, I knew that there was something different. And so when I went back home for good, you know, as a young teenager, I would just walk everywhere. I wanted to see everything. And on my own, back then you could walk on your own as a young person, you know, and I would walk all the way down from Bushwick to Fort Greene. I would walk over the bridge. I would take the subway to the National History Museum. I just explored and wanted more out of life. And I just didn't want to accept, I refused to accept the status quo. And you know, people say that everyone should travel, they should see the world so that they can really fully become part of the world. If you can't afford to travel, you can afford to walk. That's right. You know, just walk off your block, walk out of your neighborhood, just go anywhere, get on a bike, do something, just see something different, and it will change your mind. And it'll also change what you want out of life.
Absolutely. Well, you have done great things outside of television and film. You're in public service. You actually were just received an award at the Jacob Javits Award you just received recently. What drives you to give back?
Because what drives me to give back is that there were so many people that gave back to me. You know, I write in the book, yes, there was a particular nun that was very, very cruel to me, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But there were also nuns there that were just so sweet and wonderful with me, especially the nun in the group home who changed my life. You know, writing that segment, it took me so long to write about her because I'm saying this now and I still feel a pain in my heart that she's no longer part of my life, but she will always be a part of me. And you know, so it behooves me to do that for someone else. You know, I don't do it, you know, when I started giving back, it wasn't a conscious thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to give back to the world. I was just, oh, somebody needs help. Oh, let me help you, you know. And also the generosity that was bestowed on me by my aunt, my father's sister. You know, here she is with a lot of kids of her own in a shotgun apartment. Everybody's sleeping on top of each other, and she still made room for me. Yes, my bedroom was in the hallway.
But it was yours.
But it was mine. You know, she made that possible. Teachers, I mean, guidance counselors, just so many, every little drop helps. And so that's why I believe in giving back. I really do. And everyone could give back. Everyone can give back as much as possible.
And you write this one part where you met Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
And that was so impactful.
Yeah.
How do you feel now that you probably play that role for someone else?
Oh, gosh, I could never compare myself to the Oracle, a.k.a. Oprah. Darling, no. But
that's what the O stands for.
That's for the Oracle, yes. You know, but I would like to think that I do affect other people's lives, specifically young people. You know, and if I could change one person, that would be fantastic. You know, I think that the biggest gift that I received from her was she acknowledged that I survived. You know, and at that time, I thought I did, but I didn't know I did. Right. You know, I didn't know that I had survived, because you have to know it in your soul to accept it. Mm-hmm. And now it's even better because I am not a survivor. I'm a success. And it has nothing to do with this wonderful job at The View, with my wonderful career in movie, television, and stage, and money. It has nothing to do with that. I have succeeded because I have not allowed my childhood, the child abuse that I endured, affect me now in a detrimental way as an adult. It will always be somewhat a part of me, but I'm not treading water in that big ocean. Right. I've built a bridge over it, and it's now a tiny little puddle. You know, so that body of water is still there, but it's this big. It's no longer overwhelming. You know what I mean? And that's great. Success. Yeah. And you don't need money for that.
That's great. Let's talk about Fugly.
Okay.
I watched it. I love both you and John Leguizamo. It was hilarious. The film was hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
But John is a friend of yours.
Yes.
So how fun is it to work alongside him? I know it's not the first film you've done together.
No.
And you've known each other for a long time. So how is it to go to work every day and just be with a friend?
It's very, very easy because we take the mystery out of, and the pretense out of acting. So, for instance, when we are going to do a scene, it's more like, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to do that. Oh, okay, so then I'm going to do this. It's not like going up there and just holding it and then someone says action and you go, you know, and you just, no. And I think it's because we both have done theater. And in theater, that's the rehearsal process. It's like, I need to know exactly what you're going to do, where you're going to stand, how you're going to move. Once I know that, the magic will happen. And that's how we work together. And it's easy. And it's also supportive and extremely competitive in the best possible way. So we're not competing with each other. We're competing in the sense of we're both winning the race. You know, we're both passing off the baton. So it's a team effort, and I love working with that man. And it's so funny to me how shy he is about nudity.
Really?
Yes, the man, it took our first love scene in one of our movies, what was it, The Take?
The Take.
It took him, I swear to God, we had to go to lunch. It took him so long to take off his clothes. You know,
but you were kind of like that in your earlier roles.
in my
right?
earlier,
Like in White
but
Women, for
yes,
example.
in my earlier roles, in my early 20s, hello, he's a grown ass man now. I'm like, John, you're over 40, get over it, take your pants off, you know, and it was just, you know, and I'm having this conversation with him, by the way, while, you know, I'm totally naked, you know, and it's been a long time since Do the Right Thing, so these things were like moving while I'm talking, you know, so, you know, it was just hilarious, but we can work that way with one another, you know, if it was, let's say, a stranger or the perfect stranger of another actor, that would make me nervous if another man was acting that way. But with him, I just think it's funny, and I just took delight in just humiliating him further, you know. So
that's fun. Well, you mentioned theater, and I'm so excited to see this Larry David production, Broadway production, Fish in the Dark Water, that you're in. I know that there's not a lot of information yet about what it is, what the play's about. Can you tell us anything?
Now.
Okay. I can't wait to see it then. No, I'm really excited about your returning to Broadway. What is it about the stage that excites you? And the fact that you're working with Larry David, who must be hilarious.
He is so funny. He's very, very funny, and he's great. And I would have to say this is that, as you read in the book, I've been a ham since birth. You know, I just always, you know, loved it. And it's not so much about the attention, it's more about entertaining for me. I just like to perform, and I like to entertain because one, I enjoy it for myself, but two, I love the reaction it gets out of people. And it just brings me joy. And then there's no purer place to express that than on a stage. And then to be able to do it on a Broadway stage, I'm so freaking fortunate, it's incredible. And so that's what I love, you know. And I remember when I did one play, Frankie and Johnny and the Clair de Lune, and it's a very, very serious play. It has elements of comedy, but it's very serious. And when, you know, we took our curtain call and everything, and I just started crying and smiling, and Joe Montello, the director, he goes, wow. And I said, what? He goes, you are really crying tears of joy. And I go, I am, I love applause. And he was like, you are too much, you know. And every single night, just the tears would come. It's like, thank you. Like, I'm so appreciative, and it's so much fun. And even now, 25 years later, I in my head, I'm going, I can't believe I get to do this. I can't believe I get to do this. And just the tears of sheer happiness just come.
And congratulations, I know you're married now, Eric Hayes. Is he in the industry? Does he get the pressures that you go through as in your day-to-day work?
He does. He's not in the industry in the same vein, but he's a contemporary artist. Okay. He also used to have his own clothing line, you know, and he's had like, you know, several gallery opening shows of his own. So he's used to having the spotlight on him. You know, when we go to one of his gallery shows, whether it's his own or he's part of a group or what have you, the response from his fan base is incredible. And so they bypass me and rush to him.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And it's very cool. So when the shoe's on the other foot,
right,
he gets it. He gets it. There's no competition. There's no like, why am I standing on the side? No, it's not. He's like, baby, do your thing. And he's so supportive, and I am as well with him. You know, when I'm in his arena. So it's great. It's great. So he understands success on many levels. So it's a good partnership.
Is he a Brooklynite too?
Now he is. Now he is. But he was born and bred in the city. Okay. You know, he's a Central Park kid.
Oh,
you know, hanging out in the
so
Central Park. I brought him across the bridge. Across the bridge, and he tells people that now he's a Brooklynite.
And what is it about Brooklyn that you love so much?
Everything. I love the tree-lined blocks. I love the brownstone buildings. I even love the tenement buildings, the pre-war buildings. I love the different ethnicities. Also, that's starting to fade a bit with the gentrification, but still, it's still there. I love the mom and pop shops, and I love the sense of community. And I also really love the Brooklyn attitude. You saw it with Andrew Dice Clay
Yes.
today on the show. It's just it's so funny because one day there was a couple of hipsters hanging out on my fence in front of my house, and I go, "Can I help you?" And they're like, "No," and I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you here to see me?" No. I go, "So what the hell are you leaning on my fence for? Keep it moving."
That's the BK coming.
That's the BK, because if you're not going to say, "Oh, hi,"
Right.
"Oh, I'm so sorry," "Oh, we were just chilling here." If that was their response, I go, "Okay, all right," But for them to be all snippy with me, I'm like, "No, you in Brooklyn, baby."
And that's the thing, that the hipsters are taking over the crowd. I mean, I used to live in Crown Heights. It's so different now when I go, and the gentrification.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing, or is it a bad thing?
I think it's twofold. I think it's good and it's bad. It's good that it's stimulating the economy in Brooklyn, but who is benefiting from it is the question. So that's the issue there.
Right.
I think that if everyone is able to enjoy a piece of the pie, I would be a lot happier about it. But I think that, in saying that, it is what it is, and it is here, and you just gotta kind of work with it. You can't be bitter Betty about it. And so, but I hope things slow down. And that old argument that they say, well, New York is always changing. No, New York City is always changing. The boroughs have always been slow to change.
Right.
So it is a little shock for us.
Well, as a fellow Boricua, I am so proud of all the accomplishments that you've made. You're definitely somebody that I look up to. What advice would you give to a young person that maybe didn't come from a great background but wants to see a bigger life for themselves?
Go for it. Push through your fears and step into your greatness. Just go for it. Because there's a greatness in all of us. In all of us. Even, let's go back to The View, even in taking this job, I took pause when it was offered to me, and I said, let me push through this fear and see what it's about. And I am so glad I did. And I've done that all my life. All my life I have done that. And you just got to leap, and the net will appear.
And one last thing, I absolutely love, Do the Right Thing is one of those movies that any day I'm home that I'm just flipping through the channels and it's on, I'll watch it. It's one of those type of movies for me. But the opening credits, the dance, you still do it? I mean, do you do that still?
No, I would be in the hospital. Are you kidding me? What do you think I am, Beyonce? Oh my gosh.
Do you enjoy dancing still?
I still dance. I'm kidding. I could still do it, but it wouldn't look as fly. Let's be honest here. But I could still get down. I don't know if I could drop it, low, like drop it like it's hot, but at my age, who would want to? So, but I still enjoy dancing quite a bit.
Do you get to watch those older movies that you did, or do you enjoy
No,
watching them?
I don't like watching myself.
No,
I can't, because I'm obsessed with my hair. That's all I'm thinking about.
Thank you so much, Rosie. This was fun. I'm so glad we got.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
You so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.